Hello, lovely people. I am back. It's been a couple of weeks. It was school holidays here the last couple of weeks. I've been away and busy and all that sort of stuff. But I'm back for some more Operation Mail Time. And so I got a nice little stack of stuff that have come in since my last Mail Time video. So let's get into it. First things first, I ordered a comic book from Germany because it was super duper cheap, and I realized why it was super duper cheap, because this is all it came in. Just this, no protection. The comic book had no backing board. It just came as the comic book in this envelope. And it survived more than I thought, but it still got heavily damaged. It's a nothing worth book, as my picture falls over. Like, it's not really worth much, but it was just hilarious how it just came unprotected. And here is my other stack of books that we'll go through. So the first one, due to the magic of editing, I've already unboxed these. The first one, the German one, is this book, Cyber Dragon Destroyer Duck. Now, those of you might know, I bought this for historical reasons, for hilarity reasons, because it's where Steve Gerber stole Howard the Duck back off Marvel after screwing him over. Big time. Because Marvel has some weird thing where if you create something for them, they fully own it and they won't give you recognition for it. So he quit Marvel because he created a whole bunch of characters, including Howard the Duck, and went somewhere else, I think for Image for a while, and created Destroyer Duck. Anyway, after the long story, both companies approached him to create a crossover story. No, to create a story, and he goes, I'll create one, but it has to be a crossover. And it has to be on my terms, and I'm going to write everything. And spoiler alert, the bad guy cloned all of the Howard the Ducks, and Destroyer Duck stole the real one, put it in the Image universe, and the one that's in the Marvel universe is a clone. And then Steve Gerber died. He died. And so, if they ever do Marvel do Howard the Duck stuff, it's actually a clone, until they rectify getting Howard the Duck out of the Image universe. So I bought this because of that fact. Again, it's worth nothing. The damage came, it's hard to see, but there's like a huge indent here. And there's a whole bunch of spine ticks on the back, but on the front there's not actually many. So surviving with no protection from Germany to Australia, it did alright. I've been very impressed, but it's still heavily damaged. Again, it cost me in total from Germany like $10, and that includes shipping and to pay for the book. That's $10 Australian too. So yeah, I bought that just because historical fact and just the story behind it was just so great, I couldn't pass up. But it doesn't exist here in Australia. This comic book doesn't exist here in Australia. I've been looking for a very long time, and it just doesn't exist. So I still want to get a better copy of this and maybe get it graded, but until that day comes, I might, if I go to a trip to the USA or something like that, I might try and find it, pick it up there. The next book, there's a lot of key books in this run. The next book is, still has the price tag on it, Sword of Azrael, #1. It is in mint condition. Oh, I just noticed a little dent there, but apart from that, not a dent, a little cornering there. But apart from that, it is in mint condition, and that's £6. I didn't pay. I got it shipped from the UK, so and it came exactly like this, in perfect minty condition, ultra protected, and so I think it cost me in total like $15 Australian, with postage and everything, which is not bad. for a big key book that is in mint condition. I love Azrael as a character, so I wanted to find his first appearance, and this is his first appearance. I might get it graded eventually, but yeah, it's good to have. The next one I have is another one. Some of these are on my list too, so I'll cross them out when I get to it. Warlord, the Warlord #1, first issue special, Enter the Lost World of Warlord, first appearance. It's from 1970 something, and I got a pretty good condition. Some of the higher grading ones are super expensive, so I've got like 7 or 8.0 or something like that. And it's created by Mike Grell. He's an Aussie, so he pops up in conventions here every now and then. So I want to get this signed by him eventually. So I just thought it was a random character. So I thought I want to get that, and yeah, it'll be cool to get him to sign it eventually. So hopefully he turns up at a convention this year or next year or something like that, and then I'll get it graded, just so it protects it and all that sort of stuff. I'm on a grading kick at the moment. It's great. I love graded comics. The next one is more of a spec book. It is The Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16, first appearance of the first female Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau or Renault or something like that. I've been sitting on this for wanting to get this for a while, and because no one's really been talking about it in the comic book world that I've seen anyway, I managed to get this really cheap, and as you can see, it's in pretty good condition. There's like a little tiny spine tick there, and that's about it. And so I was like, I had to have this, and it was, yeah, ridiculously cheap. And so we'll see what happens with this character in the future. So there we go. There's my spec book, and I had to have this one. Yeah, I've been watching and doing all that sort of stuff, and it came up super cheap, and I had to buy it, so I did. So there we go. And then finally, for my Operation Mail Time, is an Indiegogo book called Graveyard Shift, by John Malin and someone Poulton, and signed by them both. And it has trading card on the back, like most of my Indiegogo ones have had. John Malin he's drawn for like some of the major comic book companies like DC and Marvel and all that sort of stuff, and then he went and did his own thing. Graveyard Shift is what is the concept? Kind of like X-Men, but someone resurrects like all of the old sort of monsters like Frankenstein and Dracula and all that sort of stuff, and then uses them as like like a Suicide Squad or X-Men type of character, and they gave them superpowers and other than what they already have. So I thought it was a really cool concept, and that's why it's called Graveyard Shift. It's pretty thick, but I thought it was really cool, and supporting independent sort of people as well, and that's one of the characters, Professor Blood. So there we go. Anyway, that's all my pickups. I probably should have grabbed a Sharpie, but actually I'll go and do that right now. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Alright, here we go. Here's my list. And I worked out what Green Lantern I have. I had 48, first appearance of Carl Rayner, so I need to get 50 is the main one I want to get, where it becomes Green Lantern. Anyway, Sword of Azrael, #1, done. And then first issue special 8, which is first appearance of Warlord, is now officially done. So, the only ones I have left is JSA 69, Detective Comics 363, New Mutants Annual 2. And the Green Lanterns ones. So there we go. I did start creating a new list for this year, because this was last year's list, and this is what I got so far, so everyone can see. All-Star Comics 58. That's been on my watch list for a while, and stupidly I was away, and it was a really good deal that came across, and I just didn't have a chance to buy it. It was like a 8.5, similar to what Alex the Comic Hoarder had, but it was ridiculously cheap, and I was like, so dumb I didn't pick that up. Stars and Stripe 0, which is first appearance of Stargirl, I think it is. Uncanny X-Men 244, which is first appearance of Jubilee, and then Batman 655 and 657, which is Damian Wayne. First appearance of Damian Wayne, and I think that's when he becomes Robin. So they're the ones on my list so far for this year. So with them both combined, and we've got some conventions coming up this year in June. So I'm going to be looking at these ones hopefully through that, and if not, getting some from overseas like the All-Star Comics 58. So yeah, anyway, there we go. That is all my pickups for Operation Mail Time. Sorry it was a bit long, but there we go. I gave a cool story about this one at the beginning, which is still a fascinating story to me, and there's probably heaps more in the comic book world like that. Let me know in the comments below if you know any other ones similar to this where the artist or creator has gotten back at the publishing company. I think they'll be hilarious to sort of collect all those sort of ones that has a story behind it. Anyway, until next time, for more comic book stuff or whatever else I may do, bye!